This is a great example of how much a domesticated duck can fly. That's about it right there.
Poor Chloe.
Oh.
She wouldn't leave her Scratch alone. And now she's kind of afraid to move. And Zelda has no problem invading Chloe's personal space and sticking her head right in that cone with her. And I think Evie's taking a selfie with Chloe Conehead.
Here's Chloe trying to stay awake while I'm eating. You're going to be able to tell exactly when I take a bite. Zelda loves biting at moving air, whether it's the vacuum hose or it's an air mattress. She loves to play with air.
Good girl, Zelda, good girl! When we originally built the duck pen out here, the plan was to let them eat all the grass and the weeds and the greens. And once they got down to dirt, we'd put the straw down. So it's been down to dirt for a little while, and I thought it's about time to get the straw down for them. And it's funny, I had the door open while I was bringing straw in and out, and none of them left. They just get so excited about straw, and I think it's because it's wheat straw, so there's wheat seeds in it. But they get all excited and they dig around and find lots to eat and talk about it, and they have a good time with it. So we got the straw down. The other thing that's nice about the straw is that it holds moisture and attracts bugs. Not that holding moisture is necessarily a good thing, but the top layer is dry, which is what we want. Sorry, ooh, shaky video. But the bugs get attracted underneath, and then you'll see little holes drilled in the straw from the duck bills where they drilled down in order to find the bugs. You can see the guineas are really enjoying it too. I didn't know if they would care or not. They're really more of a bug eater than anything, but I guess they like straw too. So the ducks are having a good day. Lots of straw, lots of yummy things to pick and eat. The guineas are really scratching. They scratch like a chicken, just not as much. They won't destroy your yard and garden and stuff like a chicken does, but you can see them scratching through the straw. It's cute to watch them. Oh, comes to Kane with her dramatic limp because of the wrap. She doesn't limp that bad without the wrap. Ooh, bird. The guineas are all relaxing and fluffing up and cleaning themselves. They don't hold still much, so this is kind of nice. I'm going to see if I can tell you or show you the difference between boys and girls ducks. Some breeds it's really easy. In breeds like the Pekin, which is what Ferd is, when they're both all white, it's difficult. So I'm hoping you'll be able to hear him. That quiet raspy noise is what a drake, a boy duck, does. A little more of being able to hear the drake noise and see the drake curl.
I just wanted you all to see how crazy the ducks get when we give them fresh water. They love it and they go bonkers.
They're taking out more water than we put in it.
Alright, the roof is going on the coop. Wave hi, honey. So we're putting up a plywood roof. Alright, you're going to get a close-up of this tree. You've gotten a close-up of this tree before. Putting up some plywood. The 2x4s are just up there to help us figure out where to put some screws in. And then after we get the plywood on, then we have a roll of roofing felt and leftover shingles from when our house was roofed that we're going to use on it. Our goal is to finish up the roof tonight and then put on the sides tomorrow, and tomorrow night the ducks and guineas will get to sleep in their new coop. Yay! Alright, this is a view from inside the coop. As you can see, we've got a space for the front door, plenty of windows for ventilation. Kind of step forward here. The sides, that's all going to be windows too, because we are in North Carolina, right near South Carolina, so it's pretty warm even in the winter. Here's the finished front of our coop. All we have left to do is put the door on, and then we will paint it and put some shingles on the roof. But the girls and Ferd will be able to sleep in their new coop tonight. Yay! Here's everybody checking out their brand new coop. Evie and her friend did a nice job making some nice nest boxes there out of some old milk crates, new milk crates that we bought. And Evie started a signature wall. As you can see, the guineas are getting bigger and bigger. And they're really starting to look like guineas. They're getting white and red faces, and they're getting their wattles. And the cone on top of their head, which I don't know the name of. We started painting our coop. Well, I should say Chad started painting the coop. It's going to be a nice pretty red. So it's a primer and paint mix. So we're hoping we can get away with one coat, but we'll see. We still got to get the shingles on the roof, so right now it's tarped. The guineas are out there talking. And I've been doing some cleaning and rearranging in the duck pen. So I'm just going to walk over. Try not to be too bumpy. What I'm going to do is take the old duck coop and move it outside. This one. Hose it off. We have a little pressure washer, so I'll pressure wash it, move it outside, and then I'm going to put it pretty much right up against the side of the coop that you just saw, in the hopes that the guineas will learn to go in there. I'm going to put their water and their worms and stuff there every night. I know that they perch in the trees at bedtime now, but they are ground layers, ground nesters, so I'm hoping that that will teach them to have their nests in there so that I can find them and collect the eggs, because we really don't need any more guineas, you know, come spring. So I'm hoping to teach them that good things happen in this old coop, so they'll want to go in there. The ducks are just patiently waiting for their water to refill. I pressure washed out their water. I try to empty that and pressure wash it every other week. So they're just waiting for that to refill. Looks like it's got maybe another quarter of the tank to go, and I can put the ramp back up. I drained it overnight, so this morning Chad said when he let the ducks out, they all came running out, and the girls ran right up the ramp and then just stood there looking in. They're like, well, wait, there's no water. They'll be happy to have their tank back so they can go for a swim. I think this is the first time we've seen the guineas on the front porch. There they all are. I don't know what they're eating off the holly bushes, but hopefully it's bugs. It is Sunday, October 5th, and I wanted to show you where my garden is at. You can see my onions are coming up and doing really well. I still have this one crazy potato from one that I must not have dug up that's doing well, so I'm just letting her grow. My mixed greens really haven't been growing. We've had some crazy cold and hot weather, so I don't know if that's what's doing it to them, but that's okay. Sorry ducks, I mostly grow this particular mix of mixed greens for the ducks. Swinging over here, cucumber vines are coming up and looking good. And then behind them is a lot of empty pots and junk, so ignore that. And then 2 Anaheim pepper plants. with a pepper growing on it right there. These have been doing good all summer. They've just slowly produced 1 to 2 peppers at a time. I don't know if you can see in there, but there's still a lot of flowers. So I don't know if they're just going to keep going for a while and how long they're going to keep going or what, but I'm happy to keep picking as long as they keep producing. I don't know if you can hear in the background, that's a red-shouldered hawk. We got a ton of those around here. All right, pea plants are doing good. They're just getting tall enough that they're approaching the trellis. I'll soon be training them over to the trellis. That hawk is just flying and flying. I'd try and get him on camera for you, but the sun's right above where he's flying, so it would just be a blinding white mess. So, beans. I'm very disappointed in my beans. Something is eating the heck out of them. I've yet to actually see anything on them, really, except for grasshoppers. So that's the only thing I can think of that's eating them. I keep hitting them with neem oil, but they're just looking more and more raggedy. They're still blooming. They are producing beans. I'll see if I can zoom in on one. It's hard to see, but there's a bean. So all the plants have some beans starting. So hopefully I'll get some beans. I was really hoping to have enough to blanch and freeze a bunch so that we could eat garden beans all winter. So we'll see what happens. Alright, I'm going to swing across to this bed. If you remember, I was worried because I only had 2 potato plants come up here and at the end of this row. But now when I really look, I'm seeing more potato plants coming up. So hang on, I'm just going to go over here. See, there's one. There's a bunch of them throughout. So it looks like they're coming up. For whatever reason, I had 2 that just came up earlier than everybody else. And then also, carrots. Yay! A lot of leaves over them. But you can see I have 3 rows of carrots coming up. And I love carrots. I love garden carrots. I don't think there's anything better than garden carrots. Oh, there's a potato plant. Another one over here. And those hawks just keep flying by. I keep seeing their shadows fly by out of the corner of my eye. I'm going to zoom back out. And then I'm going to walk over here. And lots of garlic. Again, I planted a ton of garlic. And it all just kind of came up and died. I never picked it. It never got to the point where it was ready to be harvested. So I just left it alone. And now they all came back when the weather got cooler. So I think that's interesting. We'll see what happens. We'll let them grow. And then I'm going to get close and you can see my broccoli, if I can find it. There it is, right next to that yellow leaf. Has not really grown. So I don't know what's going on with the broccoli. It's been basically staying the same size. So we'll see. Again, we've had a lot of odd weather. Hot, cold, hot, cold. Got down to 40 degrees last night. So I'm thinking that's probably been the problem. And it's supposed to be 80 later this week. So I'm thinking it's just messing some stuff up. But that is the update on my garden. For those of you that don't know, I have 4 4-foot by 8-foot raised beds. And then I have 2 tubs down there. It's a mess down there right now. 2 tubs down there that are collecting tadpoles, or have tadpoles that Evie's raising in them. Today is October 18th, and as you can see, the potato plants are coming up and looking great. Look at the size of this one. It's big. So all my fears about not having any hardly any potatoes in my harvest are gone. And you can see a little bit of the carrots coming up in the background there. Let me see if I can zoom. Carrots! So it looks like this bed is doing really good. Yay! Here are my pea plants. They're getting there. They're all reaching the bottom row of the trellis and starting to grow a little bit. Here's the random potato that grew from the potato I mixed when digging. It's huge. Onions are all looking pretty good. You can kind of see them in the background. Cucumber vines aren't looking so hot, but we'll see what happens. And then my poor beans. They look awful. Got a handful of beans. Remember how nice and bushy and how many bean plants I had? Oh, I see a bean here I probably need to harvest. I got a handful. I'll probably be lucky to get another handful. But I looked it up. Pretty sure it's grasshoppers that are eating the bean plants. That's the only thing I've seen on the beans. And I looked up and yep, grasshoppers do eat them. So, lesson learned. Next year we'll have to figure out what I can do organically to keep the grasshoppers off the poor beans. Sadly, after all the grasshoppers eating our bean leaves, this is my first harvest. And this might be about it. I might get another harvest this size. Hopefully we'll get a little more. We'll see what happens.
Evie did a great job showing tusk and saddle seat at her first horse show.
Combined class of classes 7 and 9 has been officially tied. In first place, we have entry number 253. This is Destiny Rules, written by Evangeline Franco. In second place, entry number 368.
I had fun showing Doc. I haven't showed in a horse show probably in 12 years or so. Had a good time, did okay. Got last place in my class, but I was happy with my performance.
I don't know how she does
Like I came yesterday and my husband's like, "John, ride your horse." I'm like, "No, my legs are shot."
I can't even.
They're not even- Here's the trail.
Here's Evie and I in the corn maze. Here's the map of the maze. I'm already lost and don't know where I am on it. We've only been in it about 5 minutes. Wish us luck.